Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan, and I'm back for more Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Today we're on Episode 5, and it's crazy that we're already over a fifth of the way through the season. Almost a fourth of the way now. And last time we finished up the situation in Tenkin's lair. Let's just leave it at that. And Fushidio just kind of wiped the floor with the remainders of our team, which is basically just Geto. However, the victory was fairly short-lived because Gojo came back with not really a vengeance, actually, kind of the opposite. He came back enlightened, and he gave back more than what he was dealt. He wiped the floor with Fushidio and completely annihilated him in his state where he was like liberated from his own humanity and just, as Fushidio said, just on a high, really. Yet, even after he crashed down from the high and he was thinking about killing all of the cultists for clapping around Rico's death, he came down from his high, but his detachment from his emotions, from his humanity, wasn't completely gone. It lingered. Obviously, he wasn't emotionless. Otherwise, he wouldn't want to kill them for what they were celebrating, but there was clearly a detach, maybe not from his emotions, but from his morals. Morals that Geto continued to cling to, even though he was clearly wavering in that commitment. And from there we start to see where the divide is coming, where Geto is starting to question his own morals, and however, at the same time, he's pulled Gojo back from effectively the point of no return. So it's really interesting to see how these characters are starting to mold into what we see today. There's still a lot of room to go, which is why I assume this episode will do a lot of work in explaining. Obviously indirectly, because Akutami can't give us anything directly. Not a single damn thing. But regardless, that's basically what happened last time. There was a lot of really interesting discussion going on, especially in the comments. One thing I really wanted to highlight, I really wanted to bring attention to, though, especially, and I want to do it in this episode just because I think it's worth talking about, is now that he's gone, Fushidio's character. He is, as much as we hate him for what he did, he is a deeply complicated and interesting character. And you really have to look beneath the surface to see just how deep his rabbit hole went when it came to Akutami designing him. Excuse me. Essentially, Fushidio is a generational talent with the worst luck possible. Right? He has a heavenly pact that makes him uniquely physically capable, far beyond other people with similar heavenly pacts like Maki. And yet, he was born in the one place that is the worst possible thing to be born with. It is the greatest blessing turned into the worst curse, just because he was born in the Zayn clan, which is so Jujutsu-centered that somebody who doesn't have any cursed energy is less than worthless, is not even human, is a monkey. And he cannot change that, obviously, so he is born a monkey, he will thus die a monkey. That is unchangeable in the eyes of those around him, his own family. So what irony that someone who is born with no cursed energy finds that to be the greatest curse possible. Yet it shouldn't be that way. It's just because of circumstance. So already, you can tell that somebody who should have been born with everything, yet due to luck, lost it all, or was denied it all. You can already start to see how that ties into his gambling addiction, his idea that skill doesn't matter, development doesn't matter, what you are is what you will be, hence the horse races instead of casinos. They're basically fixed from the beginning. It's just how the horses are bred and how they're made to be. So much like him, it's kind of just, you already know from the start who's going to win. It's a fixed race, essentially. And yet, despite that, despite his own circumstances, Fushidio has been successful. Okay, I'm sorry. We're being serious about his backstory. I should call him Toji. I should call him by his actual name. As much as I want to do it just to mock him, I should give him this much, at least during this explanation. So, Toji sees himself in his bets, and he places bets on himself. Even though the winner is all but decided, he bets on the dark horse. He bets on the underdog. The person snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. And just like he does that with his races, and he loses almost every time, he does that for himself. Because he also, against all odds, managed to succeed, despite being born with the greatest blessing turned into the worst curse. He still turned it around and made a name for himself. And became somebody. A dark horse. So that's really interesting. Not just that his life represents his gambling, but the form of gambling that he indulges in reflects his own desires on himself. And the idea that blessings and curses really are two sides of the same coin. It's really all about circumstance and perspective. Now, the significance of him naming his son Blessing Megumi is not lost on me. It's really interesting that he who was born with a blessing turned into a curse decided to name his son Blessing. And then sold him off to the Zhang clan, effectively cursing his blessing. I don't think that was intentional. I don't think he was trying to sabotage his son. I think his true motives were revealed at the end, where he tells Gojo what's going to happen to Megumi, effectively, silently telling him to go save him. But in his cynicism, in his darkness, in the dark part of his life that he's in, well, his whole life was pretty darn dark, but he inadvertently did to his son what was done to him. He created a blessing and then cursed it. And that's just so indicative of really generational trauma, to put it bluntly. Everyone sees the worst of their parents and vows not to become it. And in trying so hard not to become it, they wrap all the way back around and become it anyways. It's a pattern that happens again and again throughout the ages. You can't just be aware of it and not do it as a result of being aware of it. It's the whole looking at the stock market and being like, oh, this time it'll be different, right? This time the market will go to zero. But no, it's just another correction. You're a part of history whether you like it or not. So inadvertently, his son became a part of his history. It showed history not repeating itself, but rhyming, right? And it's tragic. His life is a tragedy, so I guess it makes sense that he passed on that tragedy. And yet there's a beauty to his end, in that he also put an end to his own tragedy. Well, not his tragedy, but his son's. We know that Gojo went and rescued Megumi from being sold off to the Zhang clan. Who knows what would have happened to him there? So, the fact that he rescued him from that, he put an end to that generational trauma, if you would, indirectly, in his final moments when he had nothing left to gain, I think speaks to his true character. And it makes it really hard to hate him as much as I want to for what he did. So, yeah, that's, I suppose, my elegy for Fushidio Toji. I don't know if he'll be missed, but he was a good character. I'm glad he was around. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the story develops after that. So, with that whole bit left off, that one's for you, Theo. You left such a great comment, such a great unified comment, I had to give it a proper response and embed it into the series, regardless of how long it took. And it seems like it's taken almost 10 minutes, so it didn't quite hit the double digits I was joking about it might, but regardless, that's what I have to say about it. Thank you for leaving that comment. Thank you for everyone else who's left your comments. Obviously, Alex, as always, your historical and cultural insights are incredible. And for everyone else who leaves any little bit, even something just like Gay, when I get you, gay. That one guy who left that comment, hilarious. Thank you. I love interacting with you guys. So it's so great interacting with the community. So thank you all for leaving those comments. I look forward to, if any of you want to leave the comment in the future, I will respond to them. I try to do it within the day before the next episode. So yeah, I would love to interact with you. Just leave something in the comments and I'll see you there. If you do enjoy the episode, please do leave a like. It helps support the algorithm and shows me that you enjoy the kind of content I'm making. And if you don't enjoy it and you don't want to leave a like, please leave a comment saying why. I'd love to improve and learn what I can do better. So please, like or comment, one or the other. That's your ultimatum. You only have that choice. Oof, what came over me? I don't know. Regardless, subscribe, whether you like it or you don't, because I'll be making more of this content. So if you do like it, I'll make more of it. If you don't like it, tell me what to improve. I'll improve, and I'll make more of that. Either way, you subscribe, win-win. Regardless, with all of that housekeeping out of the way, we are already practically half an episode's length into this pre-ep prep, so let's just hop right into Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 5. Oh, by the way, you may notice that the audio is a little different here. The mic I've been using, my little I can't talk. That's not good. The DGA mic I've been using isn't working. Well, it is working, but for some reason the internal storage isn't deleting as it should, so it's now full and won't record anymore. So I've got an actual proper mic coming in, but that'll come in Thursday. So probably today and tomorrow you're gonna have to deal with the macOS mic, which is actually pretty good. You're just gonna hear a little bit more background music. Background sound effects, not music. And yeah, I also have to obviously tune it in here since I don't have them recording separately. So hopefully this should be fine-tuned, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll sound good. If not, I apologize. But anyways, let's just hop into Jujutsu Kaisen. I really can't talk. My God, I need another glass of wine. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 5. Bam. Straight into the opening. Awesome. Too loud. There we go. I really like this opening. Still my favorite of the three, by the way. It's not my favorite song. I think the second one's actually my favorite. I really like it. But like as an overall opening, this one is just really nice. Especially this whole part. It's just perfect. I really hope we get more Shoko. Haven't got much of her in this time. I mean, obviously she's like a side character, especially in the modern times, so it's mainly about these two, but she's like one of like the 3 first years, so I'd love to see more of her. Especially with her being one of the only people who can use reverse curse techniques. Next to, I guess, Gojo now, too. But I really hope we get more of her. One year later, August downside. Oh, okay. Going into the future. A little bit. Speaking of, oh. Animation is different. We got another director. Automated it, wow. You're kidding. Oh, shut up. Shut straight up with that. Okay, yeah, who's working on this episode? I gotta start doing my research into... Oh my god, it looks great. Some lab rats. Oh, he's still going down.
証拠はもともと危険な任務で外に出ることはない。必然的に私も一人になることが。
Oh wow.
ただの夏バテさ。
But you're struggling because you're not the strongest. So doing the missions on your own is probably quite a bit. Oh, that's what he was talking about. This one.
昨年頻発した災害の影響もあったのだろう。宇治のように呪霊が湧いた。払う、取り込む。
Yeah, now we're back to episode 1.
払う、取り込む。
Exhaustion.
みんなは知らない呪霊の味。吐砂物を処理した雑巾を丸飲みしているような。
Oh, and he can't forget that image. Seared into his brain.
払う、取り込む。あの日から自分に言い聞かせている。私が見たものは何も珍しくない。周知の集約。
The ugliness of the
私は術師として
masses.
人々を救う選択をしてきたはずだ。
Ooh, why do I save people who are this ugly? They're not worth it. Oh, that's potent. Oh, that's really potent. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Oh, that's a great angle. Wow, the clapping. It's like traumatic. Oh.
Sarame.
Oh. How dare they?
お疲れ様です。何か飲むか。悪いですよ。コーラで。
Start charging?
明日の任務結構遠出なんですよ。そうか。お土産頼むよ。
Ooh, gets it with his hair down.
甘い
Not
のとしょっ
bad.
ぱいのどっちがいいですか。サトルも食べるかもしれないから甘いのかな。了解です。灰原は呪術師やっていけそうか。辛くないか。そうですね。自分はあまり物事を深く考えないたちなので、自分にできることを精一杯頑張るのは気持ちがいいです。
It's a blue collar attitude.
そうか。そうだな。
Feels good to do my best.
君がゲトウ君
Who are
どんな
you?
女がタイプか
Oh! Hey, it's her! What's
自分はたくさん食べる子が好きです。
ほう
Toto's,
大丈夫ですよ。
person,
じゃない
guardian,
です。
whoever she
ゲームに
is.
は自信があります。私の隣に座っておいてか。はい。
He's doubting his own character.
今のは皮肉だよ。
失礼します。
Okay, so we actually get to meet her a little
可
bit.
愛いじゃないか。
術師としてはもっと人を疑うべきかと。
で、ゲトウ君は答えてくれないのかな。
I don't have a type.
まずはあなたが答えてくださいよ。
Oh god, the bag's under his eyes.
特級術師
Special grade
言えばわかるか
Yukitsuku.
あなたが
Tsukuma?
お、いいね。どのどの
Yeah.
特級のくせに任務を全く受
Great
けず
face.
海外をプラプラしているろくでなし。
Ugh.
私、好戦的ら。
Just the complete melt.
冗談。でも、好戦と方針が合わないのは本当。ここの人たちがやってるのは対症療法。
Just treating
私は原因療法が
symptoms.
したいの。
Stopgaps. They are pretty known for that.
じゃなくて、呪霊の生まれない世界を作ろう。
Ooh. Address the negativity that creates them? I mean, good luck. Unless there's an actual
呪
mechanism.
霊とは何かな。
Because you're not getting rid of the negativity. That's not happening.
形を成したものです。
エクセレント。
I wonder if there's a way to stop them from building up. That could be a solution.
2つ。
Get rid of the negativity or get rid of the
全人類から呪力をなくす
or get rid of the buildup, right?
全人類に呪力のコントロールを可能にする。
Yeah, good luck doing either.
結構いいセリフと思ったんだ。モデルケースもいたしね。
What?
モデルケース。
君もよく知っている人さ。 全員当時
Toji?
天与呪縛によって呪
What
力が
about
一
him?
般人並みになるケースはいくつか見てきたけど、呪力が完全にゼロなのは
Wait, what was
全
that?
員当時。天与
I've
呪
seen
縛に
plenty of cases where
呪力が
heavenly
一般
pact
人並みになる
reduced their
ケース
cursed
はいくつか見てきた
energy.
けど、呪力が完全にゼロなのは世界中探しても彼一人だった。
Yeah, he's unique or dropped to
彼の
zero.
面白い点はそれだけじゃない。
So what?
全員当時は呪力ゼロにもかかわらず五感で呪霊を認識できた。
That's a good point. I didn't think about
二人は
that.
一線を画し、逆に呪いの体制を得たんだよ。
Because Maki can't see the curse. I didn't even think about that.
負けたことは恥じなくていい。
So it's like a graph where, like,
振られてしま
the
う。
less cursed energy you have, the less you can see, but he's at zero, so it flipped back around to being able to see it. What?
私の今の本命は2だね。
Yeah, that's
全人類
very
のコ
unreliable.
ントロールを可能にさせる。
But to do that, you would have to educate them. They're
術師
so
からの呪霊
much.
は生まれないんだよ。もちろん、術師本人が死後呪いに転ずるのを除いてね。術師は呪力の漏出が非術師に比べ極端に少ない。術式講師による呪力の消費量やキャパの差もあるけど、一番は流れだね。術師の呪力が
Their
本人
flow.
の中をよく回る。大雑把に言ってしまうと、全人類が術師に
So if you can flow better,
呪いは生まれない。
then less will leak out.
非術師を皆殺しにすればいいじゃないですか。
I was about to say,
ゲトウ君、それはありだ。
is that seriously why?
というか多分、
Is he trying to create a world without cursed
非
spirits?
術師を間引き続け、生存戦略として術師に適応してもらう。要は進化を促す。鳥たちが翼を得たように、恐怖や危機感を使ってね。だから
Forced adaptation?
私はそこまで行かれてない。非術師
Oh,
は
we know who someone who is, though. Oh, wow.
わからないんです。
No
目に
way.
あると考えていました。でも最近私の中で非術師の
This felt like nothing. Yeah.
弱者ゆえの尊さ、弱者ゆえの醜さ、その分別と需要ができなくなってしまっている。
Oh.
非術師を見下す自分、それを否定する自分、術師というマラソンゲーム、その果てのビジョンがあまりに曖昧で、何が本音かわからない。
Yeah.
どちらも本音じゃないよ。
They can both be true, yeah.
まだその段階じゃない。非術師を見下す君、それを否定する君。これらはただの思考された可能性だ。
Mm-hmm.
どちらを本音にするのかは君がこれから選択するんだよ。
Yeah, you don't have to decide right away. Nor do you have to not be able to go
本
back.
当は五条君にも挨拶したかった
We're
けど
adaptable like that.
間が悪かったようだ。これからは特級同士3人仲良くしよう。
They're all special grades?
私から言っておきます。
Huh.
あ、そうだ。
I must have forgotten that. Unless he just became
気
one.
にしなくていい。あの時もう一人別の星小体がいたか。す
Or
でに新しい星小体が生まれたのか。
interesting.
天元は安定しているよ。
Very conspicuous, suspicious hand wave there. That's gonna come back.
タイプ聞いてね。
That was way too conspicuous. That's gonna come back one day.
呪霊の討伐任務のはずだったのに。
Is that Nanami?
くそ。
It is Nanami.
神信仰。
That was a long name.
あれは土地神でした。
Oh. A local deity. Yeah, that wouldn't be second grade.
今はとにかく休め。ナナミ。任務はサトルが引き継いだ。
And what about you, bro?
もうあの人一人でよくないですか。
Jeez.
術師というマラソンゲー
Brutal.
ム。
Ugh.
その果てにあるのが
Oh,
仲
just
間の屍
blood.
の山だとしたら。
Better to get rid of curses, save more lives in the long run. Oh my god, is he gonna play this game? Where I'm saving lives in the long run. Oh no, don't do that. That's not gonna end well. No, 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 no. Oh, this is where he gets those 2 girls. Yeah, he rescues them. Oh, I can't read that, but he's gathering his people, yeah. That we saw in the movie. Oh, fuck.
事件の原因はもう私が取り除きました。
私の孫もこの二人に殺されかけたことがあります。それは違う。黙りなさい、化け物め。
He's trying to decide if they're strong, if they're powerful. Fuck.
美術史を見下す君、それを否定する君。
Oh, the 2 hymns, the 2 shadows. Oh.
皆さん、一旦外に出ましょうか。
君がこれから選択するんだよ。
2 of him walk in, 1 walks out. Oh, the visuals, symbolism is so good. Oh. Oh. He looks indifferent, but he's clearly not. Oh my god. Oh shit. They're on it. They're onto him. I guess you wouldn't just get away with that. Yeah. There's no way he would. Not my friend. Oh god, his voice.
おそらく両親も手にか
なわけねえだろ。
悟何が何だかわからんのだ。
Oh. Well, he's definitely in touch with his emotions.
Hey, いるかい?
Hey, Ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's starting to look like modern him.
何かよ。
試しってとこかな。
一応聞くけど、冤罪だったりする？
ないね。残念ながら。
Oh, and he's sounding like himself too.
なんで？
術師だけの世界を作るんだ。
意味わかんね
え。子供じゃないんだ。誰でも彼でも理解してほしいとは思わないさ。
Yeah.
どうせ誰
Something
も
I've got to do no matter what.
腐るのもそれなりに子供だと思うけど。
It is pretty edgy.
五条？ゲト
I found him. Yep.
そう、新宿。
Nice.
やだよ、殺されたくないもん。
Is he telling him to capture him? Oh, all the people, and he's walking against the crowd. Is this where their conversation's gonna happen? I mean, it was in a different location, but might be a visual.
親だけ特別というわけにはいかない。
Yeah.
それにもう私の家族はあの人たちだけじゃない。
Those aren't my only family?
意味ない殺しはしねえんじゃなかったのか。
意味はある。意義もね。大義です。
Mm-hmm.
ええよ。非術師殺して術師だけの世界を作る？無理に決まってんだろ。できもしねえことをせこせこやんの意味ねえっつんだよ。
傲慢だな。
ああ。
君にならできるだろう、サトル。
Oh, you could do this so much easier than me, but I have to do it the hard way. Oh, the arrogance of the strong. Oh. Or are you you because... Yeah. This is the conversation. Yeah. Oh my god, in context, it's completely different now. Wow. And that's when he considers it, but stops. He almost unleashes Murasaki. There would be a... Wow.
なぜ追わなかった？
それ聞きます。
いや、いい。悪かった。
先生、俺強いよ。
生意気にもな。
生意気。
でも俺だけ強くてもダメらしいよ。俺が救えるのは他人に
About what you do with that strength. About what you do with what you save. Don't think that was legible. It's audible.
万世鏡は解体されたはずだが。
別の団体でも根っこは同じ。
Yeah, those things don't just die out completely.
いやか。
いや、呪いと金が集められれば何でもいいさ。
本当にその格好で出るのか？
いいだろう。はったりは大事だ。
Geto-sama. Oh, and this is where he gets his following that we see in the movie. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, he's like their foster dad. Yeah, that's what he's wearing. Oh my god, it's all coming together. That group is what his following is. Wow. Of course.
そうだ。園田さん、よろしければ壇上へ。そう、あなたです。さて、
Oh.
改めて。猿は嫌い。
I don't like this OST. It's like little groups clapping. Really uncomfortable.
猿ども。
シグロ、めぐみくんだよね。
And then we get to see him coming over. Yeah.
あんた誰？っていうか、何その顔？
そっくりだなと。
He just got bad memories, that's all.
君のお父さんさ、全員っていう術師の家系なんだけど、僕が低レベルのろくでなしでお家出てって君を作ったってわけ。君、見える側だし、持ってる側でしょ。自分の力にも気づいてるんじゃない？全員家は才能大好き。術式を自覚するのがだいたい4から6歳。売買のタイミングとしてはベターだよね。めぐみくんはさ、君のお父さんが全員家に対して取っておいた最高のカードだったんだよ。ムカつくでしょ。で、そのお父さんなんだけど、僕が
別にあいつがどこで何してようと興味ない。
Dead to
何
me.
年も会ってないから顔も覚えてない。今ので話は大体分かった。積み木の母親も少し前から帰ってない。
めぐみ帰ってきた。
Oh, there's
もう
Sumiki.
俺たちは用済みで二人でよろしくやってるってことだろ。
君、本当に小一？
He's more than a first grader. He's Megumi.
知りたくなったらいつでも聞いて。よっくらしった。そこそこ面白いと思うよ。そんじゃ本題。君はどうしたい？全員家行きたい？
積み木はどうなる？そこに行けば積み木は幸せになれるのか？それ次第だ。
ない。
That's all I care
100%
about.
ない。それは断言できる。
Yep. Zane clan.
オッケー。あとは任せなさい。
Blah. Blah.
でもめぐみくんには多少無理してもらうかも。頑張ってね。強くなってよ。
Strong enough to keep up with me. Wow. Back to 2018.
五条先生。先生も寝るんだな。
当たり前でし
And
ょ。
here we are.
五条先生。
There they are. It's been forever. Been 5 episodes in a movie.
くださいよ。
Aww. That's adorable.
何笑ってんすか。
Oh, wow.
別に。
Bitsy. Wow, what a good wrap up. What a phenomenal wrap up. Just kind of skipping through the different moments that lead up to the different parts that matter that lead up to where we are now. Just closing those gaps. I can't believe it. Akutami actually gave me answers. He actually closed some plot loops instead of just opening more. For once in the story, I feel like I understand the situation a little better. Finally, I am enlightened. Wow. So are we going to get a new opening? Is there going to be like a version 2 for this? Or are we just going to have like OP2 for the rest of the season? Or are we going to have 3 openings? I don't know. We're clearly not going to have this one anymore because we're done with the backstory, but I'm so curious what happens next. Wow. And so many things worth talking about, especially Geto's philosophy, how it's evolved. I love the little detail of her just leaning forward as the two start bickering behind her. So fun. Okay, what's a little bit here? It's complicated. It's complicated, Yuji. Okay, that was season 2, episode 5. Next time, Soyu Koto. That's how it is. Okay, interesting. I can't wait for that. What a masterful wrap-up episode. So interesting. Really, really solid episode. Just showing 1 year later, showing how Gojo, how insane he is with his powers now. Just literally automating it. Absolute insanity. Like, what in the world? The only many hurdles are domain expansion and teleportation over long distances. Might work. I should also be able to get that down if we set up some... Okay, yeah. Some courses without me. Okay, yeah. And I need some more help. And Geto is doing much worse than Gojo was. Gojo's just filling out his strength. Geto is seriously weighed down, especially because he's sent on a lot of missions on his own, and he is not as strong as Gojo. There we go. Slightly obscuring the cheek so I can concentrate. The ugliest of the masses in choosing to save people. Wow. What a topic, right? What a difficult topic to speak upon. To speak upon without sounding arrogant or coddling. It's difficult not to sound like you're doing one or the other. Because on one hand, I think we can all agree, I don't think it's particularly controversial to say, most people are idiots. Most people are quite frankly stupid. That is not passing judgment on them as a person. That is not blaming them. It is just a fact. Most people are just not intelligent. They're just really not. And yet, even just saying that feels wrong to say. It feels arrogant. It feels condescending. Because it is condescending. But does that make it wrong? It's like saying white people historically, or like white people have a tendency to assimilate cultures. It's like, oh, that's kind of racist. Not all white people do. Yeah, but it's also kind of a fact that that's kind of what we've done. It's kind of what we do. The whole, like, is it racist if it's true, right? The answer, of course, being yes, it is racist and it's true. Those can both be true. But in this case, it is a fact that most people are not living up to their full potential as humans, I think is the best way to say it. Now, can I only say that because I was lucky enough to be born under intelligent parents and raised well and raised in an upper middle class life? Maybe only from my perspective I can say that, because I'm not a genius by any stretch of the imagination. But my nature and nurture, I was fortunate enough for both to coincide towards intelligence and towards critical thinking. Does that give me the right to look down on people and say that they're stupid? I don't know. Does it make it wrong? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the fact that most people would admit that most people, potentially themselves included, are pretty stupid. And I think that goes a step towards, in a sense, absolving me of my condescension, where I'm not saying that looking down from my pedestal, but I'm just speaking from my experience and the experience of many others that most people are pretty stupid, especially when you consider how ridiculously intelligent all humans can be. The baseline intelligence for a human being is incredibly high, far higher than it is in reality. And once again, I'll say this disclaimer till I'm blue in the face. It is not their fault. It is not a judgment on them. It is just a fact that due to the circumstances of their birth, due to the way that they've lived, because of what they've been given, they have not been put in a position to fulfill their full cognitive potential that their hardware, our monkey brains and the stupid little flesh sack it inhabits, is capable of. That was all a very politically correct way to say most people are idiots, and is what Geto is grappling with. They are idiots. But does that make them less valuable than non-idiots? Well, if the world was only filled with geniuses, we wouldn't have any blue-collar work, would we? Nobody who's smart enough to realize that they're better than manual labor would conduct manual labor unless they have to. So without idiots, without the masses, we wouldn't have the gears that make our system run, our systems run, our societies run. So they're clearly not less valuable than people who emphasize the mind over the body. Now, I'm not saying this isn't a clear division, right? It's not left brain, right brain. That's an oversimplification. I enjoy working out most days of the week, 6 to 7 days of the week. I enjoy training my mind and my body, but I am far less physically capable, leagues less physically capable than most blue-collar workers. And I think that gives them a value that I simply do not have. I consider a lot of them even more valuable than me, which I think is false, but is quite frankly true. It's not as a true fact, but it's true that I believe that, even though I shouldn't. Nobody's more valuable than another. And yet, when it comes to everybody, what they can accomplish, and particularly when it comes to political systems like democracies where people vote, those people who are valuable but are less intelligent, less educated, also put their hands on the scales in a direction that maybe they shouldn't. That may not be the best for the world because of that lack of education. So in the political sense, that's the question of, should you let everyone vote, right? If you say yes, you're allowing uneducated people to tip the scales against the favor of people due to their uneducated opinions, tipping the scales. If you say no, then you open the door to, who do we exclude? Do they pass an IQ test? Are they of a certain race, gender, age? Currently, at least in America, only the last one is where we draw the line. But that's an awfully gray line, isn't it? The reasoning we use to exclude children from voting is the exact same word for word excuses we used to exclude women from voting. Only a short century ago. Once you start cutting people out of a process, that is a very slippery slope. And yet that doesn't invalidate the argument that uneducated people, less educated people, hurt our society by being easily influenced, by holding beliefs in their head that are outdated or have been proven incorrect, they don't realize, by holding prejudices that they haven't been educated to be aware of and to fight against. All these different things have created the world we're in now, where people that are less educated push ideas that if they were better educated, they might not cling to. And thus the push and pull of society. Now, I realize the implication here I'm saying is that progressives are right, conservatives are wrong. I'm not saying that. But in a lot of ways, the pull of tradition fighting against progress, as a historian, I hate using that word, but in this case, for shorthand, for the sake of argument, we'll use that word. Tradition pulling against progress is often this less educated, more tradition, more influenced, larger populace fighting against change. Would they think differently if they were educated differently? Maybe. Would that pull be a lot less strong if, like Ghetto, we condemned and discarded that less educated majority? Maybe. But then we go down that slippery slope, and it's not a slope I or any sane person should be confident we can maneuver down safely. I think the only end result down that path is an avalanche. So what's my answer? I don't have one. And if that surprises you, then, well, I don't know what to tell you, it shouldn't. I don't have a clear answer to this. And I don't think I should. I don't think anyone should. I think it's one of the many things you cannot allow yourself to decide. Unlike, as we'll get later in the episode, unlike what, I forgot her name, but the girl from Toto's backstory said, unlike what she implied, you should not pick a side. You should not decide. You should allow those two shadows, like Ghetto, when he was rescuing those two girls, you should allow those two shadows to be there. They should not mold into one. Because I think either side is wrong. It is by conflicting against both of those sides and constantly with those two battling that we achieve equilibrium. In a similar way as progressives and conservatives, right and left, right? It's the push and pull of both sides that it achieves a sort of equilibrium. So bringing all that back here, that's all in our world. In their world, they have a whole nother layer. And this is sort of the allegory that Akutami's using to talk about what I talked about. Cursed energy. The idea that, well, we'll get into the whole, like, people creating cursed energy in this planet a little bit when we get to their conversation. But for now, saving people that cannot protect themselves. I think it's safe to say that if Ghetto hadn't experienced this arc that we just went through, if he didn't see the ugliness of this people blissfully ignorant as they clap the death of a little girl and the stability of Jujutsu society, which has apparently been maintained for some reason. Nice hand wave. We'll get back to that clearly. If he hadn't experienced this, I think it's safe to say he'd be a lot more secure in his belief in the duty of a Jujutsu sorcerer, which is to protect the masses. But now that he's seen how blissfully ignorant and how painful, how damaging ignorance can be, how foolish the masses can be, he's not so sure anymore. I don't necessarily blame him for it. But while we're talking about blue collars, it would be disingenuous of me not to mention this, right? A very simple outlook. That's kind of hard not to, it's hard not to smile at, right? This is very much the shonen protagonist, wide-eyed hero. Feels great to give my all to something I can actually do. Very gung-ho, and in a way, Ghetto and this guy are kind of emblematic of the two types of groups of people that I've been outlining in the whole discussion. The educated masses, the educated I guess, elite. Ugh, I hate using that word. And the simpler masses, let's just say. He's very valuable. Oftentimes, those that are more educated, those that celebrate their critical thinking and are always trying to think deeply and philosophize and all that, they end up like Ghetto, with bags under their eyes. And yet, the masses, which are oh so simple, have light in their eyes. They're smiling. Is it so bad to be like this? They're certainly happier. I don't know. I like how Frank is. He's cute. He is. Great. Awesome. Great visual comedy. And then here's the second part, the next stipulation we add on to our discussion. Creating a world where cursed spirits aren't born. Eliminate cursed energy from mankind. Or make it possible for all of humanity to control the cursed energy. So the first one basically depends on heavenly pacts. Good luck. But the second one is much more difficult. Killing all non-sorcerers. Because sorcerers are able to control their cursed energy. It flows through their body and it doesn't leak out nearly as much. Most cursed spirits don't come out from sorcerers. They come out from non-sorcerers. So by killing the non-sorcerers, you would effectively eliminate the source from which most of the cursed energy leaks out into the world and then pools together into cursed spirits. So it's here that Akutami introduces stipulation. This world is unique. That's unique from ours. The cursed energy. But again, the allegory is the same, right? These people that are doing harm to us due to their blissful ignorance, due to them not being sorcerers, is the good we do by killing them off outdone by the sin of killing them off, because they're obviously the majority. And a little bit later, he builds onto this by saying, oh, how many people are dying trying to fight these curses, these cursed spirits? If I kill off non-sorcerers, how many lives will I save? From not just the sorcerers who die fighting the cursed spirits, but also the civilians that die fighting the cursed spirits. So killing the masses to save an unknown amount of people. It's killing an unimaginably large amount of people now to save a potential infinite amount of people in the future. And it's through that logic that he decides to weigh down he decides to choose the future, which is really interesting. It's obviously very wrong. There is no justification for genocide. That has to be made very clear. I've made this whole wishy-washy, you shouldn't pick a side, I can't decide which is right, which is wrong, and I stand by that. But one thing I will stand by even more, I will say this plainly and clearly, without stipulation, without any small tax, without an asterisk, without anything. Hard stop. There is no justification for genocide, for mass murder. Period. It does not matter what kind of world you want to create. That cannot be justified. We cannot allow ourselves to even attempt to justify that, because we're right back on that slippery slope. Our comrades' corpses, and it's also his own people. So he decides, he goes down this path. He decides to do it himself. And then Gojo really walks into this. There's no point in chipping away bit by bit. It's an impossible, unreasonable task. All you're going to do is end up killing people. Because this is an all or nothing thing, right? That's another thing we haven't really discussed. This is all or nothing. Either you kill all the sorcerers and you get rid of it, or you just end up killing a lot of people. And I guess it's not entirely all or nothing. You've killed a lot of people, that'll decrease the amount of curse energy that's leaking out, but still, if you don't stop it, then you'll just have killed a lot of people. Curse spirits will keep being born, and the issue will keep propagating. So he really has to be complete with this. So the idea that, yeah, you're just going to kill a lot of people, and until the point you kill all of them, all you're doing is just murdering a lot of people, a lot more people than those curses would have. And yet he kind of walks into the... He doesn't... I mean, not to blame him, he doesn't know this line's coming, but it's a line that we know is coming. How arrogant. You could do it, couldn't you? Yet you would try to convince someone else that it's impossible to do something that's possible for you. How arrogant. You could do it so much easier. It would take so much less time, it would take so much less effort, it would probably be a whole lot less bloody. And yet, because you can do it, you have the choice not to do it. So you can look down from your pedestal and say, don't do that. I don't have your power, so I have to get my hands dirty and do this the slow way. Because you're not willing to, and you're looking down on me because of it. What a crazy conversation. If I were able to become you, it wouldn't be foolish anymore. It would be realistic. But it wouldn't be any more right, would it? It would be just as wrong. It would be just as twisted. Whether you decide to murder a village using a knife or using a bazooka, it's still just as wrong. Sure, one way's a lot more horrifying, and a lot more painful for everyone involved. But if you start bazookaing a village, congratulations, you still destroyed a village. So I see where he's coming from, but he's very clearly wrong, and his ideals and the way he sees the world has become so twisted in pursuit of this duty that he has. And then a new group from the Star Religious group, founded from the same roots, becomes the group that we saw in the future. Oh, Ghetto. Last time I wasn't sure where these different plot points were going, but it feels like they all converged, and suddenly I feel perfectly caught up. All in the span of one episode. What an incredible linking from this past to the present. I felt like they could go another 5 episodes and I still wouldn't be quite caught up, and yet they did it in one. Brilliant. It's the perfect way to lay out a mystery. Give you all the pieces in the wrong order, so you can't quite piece them together until they're presented to you. Absolutely phenomenal. Stunning episode. Feels like the first time in the story that I feel like we've truly connected a whole lot of dots without just building out more mysteries. And I feel fully ready to step into the present now, which is such a cool feeling. I feel like I didn't think I'd have for quite a while. I'd grown used to the feeling of just setting out more mysteries like AOT, Attack on Titan. But we didn't. We're ready to move forward into this climactic arc. And maybe something before it. I don't know if we'll go straight into it, but the Shibuya incident's coming. We'll see if our main characters are ready. I know I'm not. One last thing I want to throw out there. I wonder, Geto was supposed to have died. I wonder if he actually, the reason why he survived. I was hypothesizing that showing Gojo dying and then clearly being alive and how he survived that might be Akutami hinting at us how Geto did the same. And I wonder if it actually is. I wonder if he learned from Gojo and was able to perform a reverse curse technique and bring himself back from the dead. That would be really interesting if that's how it happened. I don't know if it is. He hasn't shown any sign of being able to do that. But it would be really interesting if he could. Plus, then we'd have our whole little trio here. I mean, Shoko barely even counts as one of the trio, let's be honest. She really got the short end of the stick here, which makes sense. She's a side character. These two are like main antagonist and our mentor to our protagonist. But if he also grasped the reversed curse technique, it'd be cool because all three of them were able to do it. And it would also be interesting and show a blind spot of Gojo when he killed Geto and walked away, assuming Geto wouldn't be able to do what he did, but he does. If that ends up being how he survived, that would be really cool. Anyways, that's just a random it's a random theory I have. As you can tell probably by my discussions, if you've been here this long, I don't like theorize too much about the future. I much prefer living in the moment and analyzing the past in the moment. But that's an idea I had, and I can't let go of. I'm really curious about, because we'll definitely have to explain that, and we'll have to get to that eventually. So I'm not in a rush. I'm curious. I'm excited, and the fact that I'm theorizing should show just how excited I am for things moving forward. I know that episode 3 was just Akutami getting warmed up with a heartache, so I'm definitely gonna look back on my wide-eyed, my blissful ignorance, my excitement, and I'm gonna be like, oh, you should have cherished what you had while you had it. We'll see how it goes. So I'm excited and terrified. If you are excited and terrified too, please do subscribe so you can be less excited and terrified and be notified whenever a new video comes out. Or you can be excited and terrified just waiting for the notification to come on your phone. Whichever you prefer. Please do like, though. It really does help me and helps the algorithm. It helps a whole lot. If you want to leave a comment, something in the episode that I missed, or something that I didn't talk about much, I brushed over, or just something like context you want to bring up to me, I would really appreciate that. That'd be really cool. Something I said you agree or disagree with, something you want to build off of. I talked about a whole lot of stuff that you probably either agree or disagree with, or agree and disagree with. I would love to hear your thoughts. The fact that I didn't come to a conclusion, just I feel like should drive home the fact that this is really a topic worth discussing and worth sharing amongst ourselves. Because we don't discuss to reach a conclusion. We discuss for its own sake, to have been discussed, so that when it actually comes to making decisions and building our own identity, the idea is more formulated in our head. We don't need a conclusion to have a formulated thought in our head and to act on it and to form beliefs around it. And it's by discussing that we create those more formed ideas. So please, I would love to engage with you in the comments. Anything you want to bring up, even if it's a short thing like, oh, I really like how this was animated. Me too. I would love to engage with you. But all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hearing my thoughts. To all the usuals, thank you as always. I look forward to seeing the paragraphs you have in the comments. And until then, have a lovely rest of your day.